Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with your Expressionist nightmare of the week in the form of Alan Pettersson, Symphonies 3 and 8, with Christian Lindberg conducting the Norrköping Symphony Orchestra, which has become the Pettersson Orchestra, which is kind of amazing. I mean, if anybody knows this music, they do, because they've recorded these things more than once. Unbelievable! On BIS, of course. Now, I was initially confused by this because if you got the complete BIS edition, here it is on 17 fun-filled CDs, you would know, and you actually listened to it, by the way, you would know that a lot of these people are in here. And I tried to do a quick search online to see who was doing what in here, and nobody tells you. I don't even tell you. Disc by disc, you list all the artists, but who does what is a thing. Leif Segerstam did a bunch of these symphonies for the complete edition, and it turns out that he did 3 and 8 with this orchestra, and they are in this box. So this is new. Just so you know, you're not getting the same old, same old. Of course, if you want more than one recording of these works, well, there's no help for you, is there? But, needless to say, they are fascinating works. They really are. And the 8th Symphony has had quite a few recordings. Really astonishing. Beginning with Sergio Commissiona and the Baltimore Symphony on Deutsche Grammophon, which I got because it came out when I was in college. It was like around 1980, 81, somewhere in there. And I remember we were all excited because the Baltimore Symphony finally got to make a record. So we all snapped up Pettersson's 8th Symphony and we all put it on and we went, yeah. We called it Top of the Lyric Building because in those days Meyerhoff Symphony Hall hadn't been built, and we felt that anyone who heard that symphony would want to commit suicide by jumping off the Lyric Theater, which is where the Baltimore Symphony played in those days. Anyway, and then what was it, Werner Andreas Albrecht, I think, recorded it, and a bunch of people did it. So there's like 5 or 6 recordings of the 8th Symphony available. Or historically available, which is remarkable. It happens to be a masterpiece. I got to tell you, it is a gorgeous symphony. Beautiful, yes, frightening, gloomy, but also lyrical and in these great works of his, sort of the middle of his career, Pettersson backed off a little bit from the intense dissonance of the earlier works, like the 3rd Symphony, the sort of wiry, gnarly, chromatic-y, dissonant-y sort of things, and created a more emotionally affecting and devastating idiom using very, very simple motives. The 8th Symphony has, its main idea is just a little 2-note thing. Da-da, da-da, and it repeats itself rigidly while these huge crescendos build up behind it and try to warp and distort it. But its very invariability is what makes it so frightening, because it has an almost inhuman quality, this sort of mechanical, it just keeps repeating, da-da, while all hell is breaking loose around it. It's incredibly exciting, thrilling to listen to. You really should hear it if you don't know it. Yes, it's difficult in the sense and emotionally devastating, but wow, what an amazing piece of music. Anyway, Lindberg's performance is excellent. I don't think there are any bad performances of it, to be honest. It's a little bit quicker than Segerstam's, maybe by about 2 minutes, especially in that second half of the first part. It's in 2 parts, one about 20 minutes, one about 25 minutes. And the da-da part, which is most of the second half of the first part, is a little faster than Segerstam, but the playing is incredibly clean and clear and crisp. You can really hear down through the texture and all the stuff that's going on, and it's very, very well. It keeps you on the edge of your seat. It's absolutely amazing. The just chews up the minutes. I mean, really, it's incredible stuff. The second half is 25 minutes long. Like I said, I mean, Segerstom's like 26. And the da-da comes back, of course, with additional material before the whole thing expires, and I do mean expires, in an emotionally dazed and eventually somewhat peaceful kind of sort of way. Now, the third symphony is in 4 movements, which are all linked together. And it's a tougher work than the eighth in some ways because, like I said, his earlier idiom was a little bit more harsh, more obviously harsh, and over short distances. You know, the later stuff has these long lyrical islands, which gives you an opportunity to sort of, recover before the next onslaught. The third it's a shorter work, and I don't know. I mean, it's interesting. It's fun to listen to. I love Pettersson, so I think it's all wonderfully interesting and challenging. And it has some very arresting ideas in it. And this is as good as Segerstom's. They were both excellent performances and powerful performances, very well played by the same orchestra. And you can decide just how much you cotton to the third. It's growing on me. These pieces take some getting used to, some living with. And I've obviously had the most opportunity to live with the eighth because of all the recordings that have come out over the decades. I know it well. The third I don't know as well. And this is music that requires you to give it the time that it needs to, become familiar, if you can survive that. I mean, if you're manic depressive or you have, suicidal tendencies, you may not want to put in the time. Maybe not. It may help you. I don't know. It could cure whatever ails you. Who knows? It's wonderfully difficult music, but fun. I mean, fun in the best way. It get your teeth into it and give it a good shake, and it's disturbing and rewarding all at the same time. I think it's amazing stuff. Really amazing stuff. And these performances are fabulous. So if you don't have the complete works, or you don't want the complete works, or you want to sort of sample, this is a great way to do it because you've got the eighth. And it's an entree, in a way, into almost everything else he did. The seventh is too, but, the eighth is, either one of them will do you. And you get a sense of his range and, his emotional climate as a composer. Good luck, and keep on listening, friends. Take care.